War Report family, your man Ike Jones is back. Y'all can tell I'm working hard here during March Madness, man. I did 2 videos last night, and I am back at y'all again this morning with the Prize Picks pregame show. We are talking Auburn versus Jacksonville State, man. If y'all are up and you are ready to get this thing popping, you need to jump on in here to this live, man. We're going to talk about this really quickly. I'm not going to be on super long, probably about 20 minutes here. So, if you're here, holla at your boys, say what's up in the comments, man. Let's talk about this game a little bit. Let's get into this prize pick stuff so we can see what's going on, see how our Tigers are going to fare against Jacksonville State. Yeah. Jay Sykes, what's up, man? I see you here. Let's get this win. I'm with you 100% there. We need to get this dub today, War Eagle. Who else is in here with your boy today? Talk to me, man. How are y'all feeling about it today? Kentucky goes down last night. A lot of upsets in round one. Is Auburn going to come out motivated after seeing these higher seeds get upset? If you haven't already, you got time after we get done with this live. I'll make sure we get enough time to go check out. There are 2 videos that I did last night about Jacksonville State. One a defensive video, one an offensive video. One of those is patron only. The other of those is open to the public. So y'all go check those out. I did a little short breakdown on what we had going on with those. But we definitely have some things to be concerned about as far as the 3-point shooting is concerned. Jacksonville State's not shy about taking threes, and they hit them at a decent clip. So no lead is safe. I caution Auburn fans for getting too excited if Auburn jumps out to an early lead. I also caution them not to get too down if they're down early, because 3-point shooting teams can go from streaky hits to streaky misses, right? So it's just really about how much you ratchet up that defense and how well you are executing on the offense to be able to make sure that you're getting good possessions. I see you in here. Johnny Dent 825 says KD redemption starts today. Hopefully so. KD can come in and do his thing and really show people why he has had the favor of the coaching staff throughout this season. He's been a valuable contributor to the team. Definitely would be some teams, or excuse me, some games that we would have lost by more or not won at all if KD had not been the guy who he is. So it's time for him to get his mind right, get back in here and start hooping, right? Brian Hatcher, War Eagle to you. I want to make sure I don't just I said Jay Sykes a comment, but I didn't put it up on the screen. Jay Sykes, man, appreciate you locking in here. Let's get this win for sure. Ethan, what's up? Good morning to you and War Eagle. We are ready to get locked in today. Hopefully everybody is having a good work day so far. And if you're not at work, you took the day off or you took a half day or whatever, and you got one eye on a computer screen while you're working or a TV screen while you're working, let's get our energy going towards Greenville for our Tigers, and make sure we can come out with this win today. Susan, what's up? Good morning to you, War Eagle. Appreciate y'all locking in with me on an early Friday morning, talking a little Auburn basketball. Again, if you did not watch the film last night with me, you still have an opportunity before. I did a little breakdown on Jacksonville State. I'm going to try to continue to do those as long as Auburn continues to be in the tournament. Hopefully, when we get into football season, I'll be able to do some of that stuff, doing a breakdown or a preview of the game coming up and looking at some film. But some of that content is going to be patron only. If you are not a patron, then you are missing out. Membership is available right here on the War Report. We will have patron exclusive stuff, and some of that is going to be film breakdowns. Valencia, good morning to you and War Eagle as well. We appreciate you locking in with us. It's a PrizePicks pregame. A lot of alliteration. Hopefully you didn't see too much spit flying on my microphone from that. But PrizePicks pregame. We're talking Auburn. We're talking Jacksonville State. NCAA tournament round 1, 2 versus 15. Has not fared so well already for an SEC team. Auburn hopefully will not fall into that same trap. All right, so y'all know what we do here on PrizePicks. We don't just talk about the game. We talk about what things we think will happen during the game. So in order to do that, I'm going to have to bring up my PrizePicks board here, and this is what we're going to get into. Casey says, we are not Kentucky. I always love the optimism of Casey. Good to see you back in the chat, my friend. We shouldn't have a problem winning by 30 today. Listen, I don't care how they win as long as they get the W. War Eagle, and good morning to you, the Jones podcast. Always like the names Jones on anything. If you didn't notice today, let me pull this down. I got my T-shirt on. Says the Jones legacy, because your man Ike Jones, you know, that's what we're all about. We're about the legacy, and Jones family. That's how we get down. I don't even know if your real name is Jones or whatever. It don't matter. It's close enough if you're using the Jones podcast. But anyway, let's talk about Prize Picks and see what we got locked in here. Auburn is here. They've got some special stuff going on. If you haven't heard me talk about Prize Picks during the tournament, you have an opportunity at every round to be able to put different stuff in. Every game, you've got an opportunity to do something. So let's see what we have for Jacksonville State. We always start with the other team and see what's available. If you didn't know, Darian Adams is the leading scorer for Jacksonville State. He's a high volume shooter, so he's going to put shots up in order to get his stuff. Available for him is 21.5 on the points, rebounds, and assists, 14.5. You guys can read. I don't want to read everything to you here. How are you feeling about holding their leading scorer on the team under 14.5 points, not letting him get to 15? If you didn't know, here on PrizePicks, you can look at what he's traditionally been doing. His last game, which was the conference championship, he was only able to score, I don't know exactly what that was, but it wasn't 14.5. But he does average above that on the season. So do you think he's going to come out? Oh, it says it right here. So he scored 10 in that game. He only had 2 against Virginia Commonwealth. Interesting. He had 18 versus Bama and 17 versus so was he hurt for a period of time there? Huh. Is he just getting back into the swing of things? I need to check that out. I don't know that I looked at that. Anyway, how are you feeling about him staying under 15 points in this game? I think that is an interesting thing to take a look at here. Jalen Gibbs is the other guard for the team. He is the assist man, I believe, for their squad. They've only got him down here at 8.5 points, 3.5 boards. That's an interesting number for him. But I think the interesting number is whether we're going to be able to hold their leading score. Might come back to some Jacksonville State stuff here. But how are you guys feeling about that one before I put that pick in? Can Auburn hold the leading score for Jacksonville State under 15 points per game? Anthony Grant in here. Appreciate you jumping in. You got to head back to work. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate you just coming in to say what's up. But he says, not going to lie, I'm a little worried because Jack State can shoot the 3 ball, and we've been struggling in that department. Always a difficult proposition when a team is going to come out and shoot well from 3. You don't have to necessarily answer with 3s. You just have to be able to defend a 3 well, force them into contested looks, and not let them get hot. And then just run your stuff on the other end, man. If you can keep them low scoring, and you can just continue to score, then it doesn't, you can equalize that sort of thing. But yeah, if they get on a hot streak where they're hitting the contested stuff, bad proposition. Anthony Rudd jumps in here. Auburn better not be sleepwalking this afternoon, or it's a one and done back on 85 real quick. Definitely can be that situation. I think Bruce Pearl on his birthday, happy birthday, Bruce Pearl, Coach Bruce Pearl's birthday today, is going to have his team motivated and ready to play. Casey said, I busted the first day on Colorado State in the Final Four, in South Dakota State is why I shouldn't hype up mid-majors to fans every time I pick an upset. The higher seed always wins. I mean, listen, there's some mid-majors that came out there and handled business, though, so it's not necessarily all hype. And it's that's why March is just a unique situation. It's one and done, right? You don't get another shot to make it happen. You got to come out and play your best basketball every single time. This is Jabari's chance to lock up the number 1 pick. He's been clutch hitting shots late. We need them when we need them the most. If he can do that in March, it will remove any remaining doubts about him. I agree that this is definitely an opportunity for him to be able to showcase his talents. I hope he doesn't go out here and feel like he needs to force it. We definitely are going to need him to step up if it looks like others are not, though. Forrest has Auburn by 25. Jax was projected as a 16 seed. Listen, we'll see. Again, a hot 3-point shooting team can equalize everything. So we'll see what happens there. Successful manager says, yes, we have the top 3-point shooter in the country, and they are 3 in the country as a team. So success manager, a Jacksonville State fan, welcome to the chat. Definitely a 3-point shooting team, so they cannot be overlooked. Valencia Jackson has some sort of faith in Alan Flanagan, says, I think Flanagan will ball today too. As long as Flanagan is not a detriment to the team, that's what I'll take. If you looked at my Watch the Film film, I talked about the need for the off guards to play well for Auburn, just because Jacksonville State can really shoot the 3, 1 through 4. So you're going to have good defensive production from those guys, not fouling on 3-point shooters, making sure that you're able to stay connected to them, though. And then on the defensive end, making them work a little bit and maybe possibly getting them in foul trouble. So we're going to need that from both Alan Flanagan and Devin Cambridge. Specifically talked about Cambridge on the glass being so effective because there's going to be a lot of long rebounds with a lot of three-point shooting. Successful manager comes back in. My prediction for the game is they will hang around, but our depth will be a factor in the stretch and pull it out. Awesome. Yeah, Justin, I don't know where you are. I am in Alabama, and it is raining like crazy here. So hopefully the weather doesn't become a factor as far as watching the game. All right, let's jump back in here to the PrizePicks board. You guys haven't said much about whether you think we can hold their leading score, but let's take a look at what we have for Auburn here as the props available. 25.5 for Jabari Smith here. Man, that's a good number, I think, considering he's slated to probably make about 20 points in this game. 7.5 boards is a good number for Jabari. 5 free throws made is a little high. He doesn't go to the free throw line a lot. Oh, wow, a blocks and steals number. Can I get that for, we do have it for Walker Kessler. Interesting. That's a new, they don't normally have that prop available. That's a new prop. KD Johnson at 11.5 points, 2 assists. You know what? Wendell Green, I'm going to take him on this 3-point number here. I think that he does make at least 2 3-pointers in this game. I like the prop here around Jabari with rebounds as well. And do I want to get involved here with this blocks and steals situation with Walker Kessler? I think so, man. I think that's a good one. A 5 number is a good one to have there. Successful manager says we've struggled to take away the team's leading scorer this season, but we have done well at holding the team under their total. So I think he will get his. I agree. I agree with that assessment. I don't know that Auburn's going to keep him under his point total. But what we've done well is just keep teams under their point total. So you might let 1 or 2 guys go crazy, but the whole team hasn't gone nuts against us. Again, it's a different proposition when 1 through 4 can shoot the 3 ball, and that's not something that Auburn has seen a lot. Oklahoma's probably the closest thing that we've seen to that, and we did really well against them. So I expect an Oklahoma-like game, minus the home environment, of course, that we had with Oklahoma. So I think what I like here for Auburn is this. So I think I'm going to take the over with Darian Adams just because, again, I think him getting 15 points is pretty sure. I don't know that we're going to be able to hold him under that. Taking the over on Wendell, at least hitting 2 3-pointers. He's definitely going to shoot more than 2. So hopefully he isn't going to have like a 1 for 7 type outing. But yeah, I think that's a good number. Jabari with rebounds. I was very tempted to go with this on the rebounds, points, and assists number here, just because I think that Jabari is going to have a 20-point game. And then if he corrals the 7 or 8 boards that I have here for this number, actually, man, you know what? I just talked myself into it. I think if he has a 20-point game and he gets 7 rebounds, he's there already. Any assists, he's going to put himself in that position. So I think I like going to that number as well. Casey here says, well, we are playing Jacksonville State, so we shouldn't have a problem with that game. Hey, listen, I don't take any team for granted in March, just because, again, any team can get hot at any time. So that's the issue is the team going to be hot today? Auburn's going to have to do some active work to cool them down. Walker Kessler, I'm going to take, man, it's interesting here because I don't know how his shoulder is. He has been a little low on his blocks of late, but he's going to impact the game. Man. And the other one is steals. I do think actually he can get a couple of steals in this game. I'm going to take the over here. I do have an opportunity for a push if he just gets 5. And then I'm going to take the over with Jabari Smith on this as well, just because I feel as if 20 points is where he's going to be. 18 to 20 is a good number for him. And then I do believe he's going to be over on his rebounds. And if he gets any assists, then that number is going to be locked in there. So I'm going to take Jabari Smith on this number. And we are going to place this as a flex. You know how I do. I'm going to do the flex picks on these. And we're going to go ahead and lock this entry in and see how it goes today. All right. So that's it for PrizePicks, man. Let's talk a little bit more about this game. Get some thoughts and predictions from you all as far as what you're seeing. The chat's fairly active today. I appreciate you all jumping in here today. If you didn't know, you are locked in with your boy Ike Jones, the War Poor. We are just a little over an hour away from tip-off. Jacksonville State taking on Auburn, the 2 versus 15 here in the NCAA tournament. And Auburn is looking to advance. What was your shocker from round one so far? Is anybody? I know brackets all over the place are busted. I saw something that said on ESPN there's only 167 or something like that brackets that are still perfect. What are your thoughts around what's going on with the other teams right now? Um, this is a good question. What about the Brandon Huffman versus Walker matchup? Huffman is good as that guy at Florida had. So here's the difference between Huffman and Walker, right? Excuse me, Huffman and Castleton. Huffman is not as fleet of foot as Castleton. Castleton moves a little bit better. Huffman's a bigger guy, so he's going to be trying to bang a little bit more. He's more of a he's got some good back to the basket stuff. I just don't know that he has the foot speed to be able to stay with what we do offensively. Again, if you are a patron, you're able to see that breakdown. I can't remember which one of those I made open for everybody, but I talked about the defense of Jacksonville State against the Auburn pick and roll. And that's going to be a big thing. The way that Huffman and the other big man for them, number 3, I can't remember what his name is, the 7-footer, play the pick and roll is they don't normally hedge because they don't have the foot speed to get out onto the guard and recover back to the big man. So that's going to be interesting to see if Walker Hessler is going to be able to get a lot of those lobs to the front of the rim and put them in a bad situation where they're going to need to go small to be able to cover that, or they're going to have to go to a zone, which is something Jacksonville State doesn't play a lot, to try to force us away from that sort of action. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play that defensively. On the opposite end, Huffman's not really a leaper, so I do expect Walker Kessler to be able to bother his shot a lot. As long as Walker does not get in foul trouble, he should be able to put a lot of pressure on them defensively if they're trying to dump it down to Huffman. I do expect Walker to win that matchup. All right. See what we've got here. Casey says, I'm excited for the Miami versus USC game. Is going to be watching that game close. Yeah, listen, we get past Jacksonville State. The winner of that game is who we are going to face. Successful manager jumps in, St. Pete over Kentucky. I don't know that if you picked that, then you're a St. Pete fan or you're just a flat-out Kentucky hater. Like, I don't know anybody who's an objective basketball fan that sat there and said, yeah, St. Petersburg is going to beat Kentucky. I do think St. Pete is a difficult draw. But I just didn't think Kentucky was going down in round one. Agreed, the Jones podcast here. Kentucky was a shock. A lot of people shocked by that one. They were a 2 seed, much like us, so it can happen. See, listen, this is what I'm saying. 2 seed doesn't mean that you are necessarily guaranteed to advance. It just means that you have to handle business. Jay Sykes jumps in here, say, if we get past JSU, who do you like more for an Auburn matchup, Miami or USC? Interesting, because it's really they're night and day teams. I like teams to face Auburn that don't have length, right? So I want us to face shorter teams because I think that we just play better against those teams, ones that are less physical. But honestly, I think Auburn has unique matchups in either scenario. But teams that can't rebound well or are not going to be as good on the defensive glass are going to be teams that Auburn's going to fare better against. But I'm just going to wait and see what we have there. I don't know that I like either of those matchups better for Auburn. I just think that there are unique situations in both of those. However, if Auburn does advance, look out for another Watch the Film session with your boy Ike Jones right here on the War Report, breaking down whoever that next opponent is going to be. Successful manager jumps back in. This team played tied tough on the road, so they are capable. I don't even know what tied tough means. If you're talking about Alabama, I don't know. But I don't. I'll tell me what that means. Let's see. Casey, I missed this one. I'm shocked at Michigan and Providence. Oh man, the Michigan thing was surprising to me. I thought Providence. I thought Michigan was gonna get run off the floor there, and they came back and made that an interesting game and end up winning that. So they're definitely interesting there. Providence won. South Dakota State and Colorado State lost games. 2 of the best 3-point teams in the country that shoot 35% or higher from 3. Listen, live by the 3, die by the 3. It's always going to be a thing. If you can't get points in other ways and your 3-point shot isn't dropping, you have a tough time scoring. That's honestly the issue with Auburn, is that when we shoot the 3 well, we're almost an unstoppable team offensively. So it's going to be interesting. Let's see. I'm not sold on Arizona. I chose Arizona to win, but I think the 16 seed Wright State will win that game upset. I'm calling it. Interesting. The dance for Auburn today, they need to ball out start to finish. War Eagle. Thomas, I feel you on that one. Valencia, shocked about Kentucky that Indianapolis court had plenty upsets. Definitely had a lot of upsets in round one. Interesting to see what day two of round one is going to hold as far as lower seeds. Again, hoping Auburn does not fall into that situation. Anthony Rudd just wants us to make shots. Like we do that and we're good. Absolutely. If we make the open shots, that will be there because that's just the way that we manufacture open shots. If we knock them down, there's no team in the country that can beat Auburn because we play so good defensively. I was saying that they played the Tide tough. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean Alabama though. Like Alabama's just they're so Jekyll and Hyde, man, and they have long stretches in games where they're just not because they are a 3-point shooting team as well. Um, it's interesting as to whether or not we have a scoring drought and Jacksonville State's able to actually do something with it. Because the thing with Auburn is, though our offense is up and down, our defense is pretty consistent throughout the game. So unless they're again going to start making contested shots or get a hot streak going from three, it's going to be difficult for them. Chip Plyler jumps in. Does Auburn cover? I think Auburn comes out firing and dominates. I think the spread is 15.5 right now. You're asking if they're going to win by more than 16. I think it's a very good probability that we do win this game by more than 16, just because I think that defensively Auburn's going to be locked in here. Would you consider the season a disappointment if we lose in the first two rounds because we didn't win when it mattered? Rand Stokes asked. Absolutely. I think Sweet 16 or better is what you have to have your mind on as an Auburn fan as a successful season. Actually, I think this could be a Final Four team, but Sweet 16 or bust, it really needs to be the mindset for Auburn. You can't leave Jacksonville. You can't leave Greenville, South Carolina, with a loss. You've got to go and win both of those games and make your way to Chicago. And hopefully you can get at least one, if not both of those, to make your way to New Orleans. But I think that, anything less than a Sweet 16 is going to be a disappointment for me as an Auburn fan. I've noticed Green has been walking the ball up slowly, and that slows us down and makes us a half-court team, which isn't our game. Get the ball off the floor, push the teams to get back. I agree. I think sometimes I mean, he's a measured player. I don't know why he walks it up all the time, and is so late getting the ball into it. But that seems to be just kind of what he does routinely. I don't know if he's told to do that or if that's just kind of used to how he's used to playing. So I don't know. Interesting. What about over 139? Auburn over 77 team total. Ah, man, that's would I take the over in this game? If Auburn gets to 70, I don't know, man. I don't like us in a track meet. I think we need to keep it ugly. We might, Mike G is confident that we can get to 70 plus. If we get to 70 plus, I think we're blowing them out, and that means that that's not going to be an over situation. Yeah, man. I don't know about that one. I don't know. B Will is really more of the guy on those types of bets, but I don't know. It's an interesting number. I'd stay away from that one. How far did y'all choose Auburn to go? I chose Auburn to go to the national championship game and win it all. We did we did a bracket here on the War Report, and we did, of course, take the homer route and pick Auburn to win the championship. If I'm being realistic with myself, it really depends on who the draw is and where we are. Elite Eight is really where you start to run into. Iowa was the team actually that I was worried about Auburn running into, and Iowa's already out of the tournament. So I don't know, man. We've got an opportunity. The path is there. Kentucky's already out. There are some tough teams that have already taken a bow. So Auburn does have a good chance if they handle business here to get all the way to the championship game. Couple more super chats here, and then we're going to bounce out. We got to take care of the ball. Also, can't sleep, walk through games. Time to go. Yeah, so turnovers is going to be a huge thing. The games where Auburn has struggled, we have been very careless with the ball. It's not even just a situation where teams are playing good defense. It's been Auburn has been lazy with passes or lazy with the dribble and just giving the ball to the other team. If we let Jacksonville State get out and transition and get easy buckets, also a terrible thing. The opposite is also true, though. If we are able to get out and get easy buckets, Jacksonville State's going to have a tough time against us. Rand Stokes, is it just me or does it seem like every time we have had our last second shot, Green panics and puts up a stupid three or turns it over? Not every time, Definitely the Georgia game comes to mind where he goes all the way to the lane and makes that bucket. You've always got the situations where KD Johnson has won the games late. Jabari Smith has had some clutch late shots for us in games. But I do think that Wendell has learned from those opportunities. If you've watched, I did a watch the film breakdown. So I'm pumping hard for you guys to get those insider memberships because I do break down a lot of gems there. But I think that Wendell is starting to learn from those scenarios. And hopefully, as we get into the tournament and we need him to make those types of plays, he's able to do it. Clay Underwood, welcome to the chat. War Eagle Tigers by 15. That would put us on the under for the spread there, but definitely hope that we double-digit victory is always a good thing. Last one here, and I'm going to get out of here and let you guys get to watching this game here in a little bit. I think that we're walk-on shoot threes. I think our walk-on shoot three is very good. I think they deserve a shot if no one else is making shots. Listen, you got to throw everything out there and hope something sticks if you're not able to do it offensively. I do hope to see Lior Berman get a few minutes in this game if we are able to generate, or if we're going to be in needing to generate the three-point shot. He's somebody who can come in and do that. All right, guys, I'm about to get out of here. I appreciate you guys jumping in here. Of course, we got our PrizePicks pregame all done. If you are not sure where you are, you're talking to the War Report. Make sure you share this video. We are at the War Report on everything. That's Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, TW Report on TikTok. And listen, like the video. Before you get out of here, give us a thumbs up on this video. Subscribe to the channel. If you're not a member and you are going to miss some great content over the next couple of days as we stay in this tournament, I'm going to be dropping more insider gems for you all. So make sure you stay locked in right here with the War Report. Your man, Ike Jones, PrizePicks pregame is done. We will holler at you next time. As always, War Eagle,